Hey, in this video we're going to go over in detail the Buyer Pre-Qualification Status Form. We're going to go through how it's filled out, the details of it. It's a pretty short form, this will be a quick video, and stay tuned to the end because the biggest question you might have is why would you use one of these, and I'll let you know at the end. Alright, so Buyer Pre-Qualification Status. So who would fill this out would be the lender, and so you can see here mortgage company's name. And so loan officer would be signing this off. And so what this form is, it's pretty straightforward. So kind of what you see is what you get. Hey, as a quick introduction, my name is Tony Anczer, real estate agent active in Illinois and Indiana. I'm with eXp Realty inside the Agent Wolfpack Group. To learn more about our group, check out my landing page here, agentwolfpackgroup.com. If you're interested in eXp and or the Wolfpack, check it out. You'll see all we offer: weekly calls, coaching directly with me. It's all for free. It's all great stuff. You can see how the Wolfpack Group and eXp is changing lives, so check it out. And also you can click the link here or in the description below to book a call directly and just get more information if you're interested in checking out more about our group with eXp Realty inside the Wolfpack. Buyer's name goes here, and just to read this off in detail, based on information provided, buyer can pre-qualify for a loan amount of, so the lender put in the loan amount there, or the financing amount, assuming a monthly principal and interest loan payment of, so that's just the loan terms. Item 4, provided that the monthly total payment which may include principal, interest, mortgage insurance, property taxes, homeowners insurance, HOA fees, and flood insurance, if applicable, does not exceed. So this line is just the principal and interest, and then this is the all-in cost of what the total payment could be. And then here, loan type, conventional, FHA, VA, USDA, other. Item 7, buyer. This says if the buyer is relying on down payment assistance or is not. So in this case, the down payment assistance could come in a couple different ways. There are government programs where you can get like first-time home buyer assistance, and but this is basically the spirit of this is that this lets the sellers aside know that, hey, this person, in order to close on this house, they need to get supplemental funds, like they don't have enough saved, is usually basically the spirit of this. And 8, buyer is or isn't relying on seller closing costs for this loan. This is a similar spirit to this, is that it's saying that, hey, this, if in your offer, if in the buyer's offer they are asking for a seller closing cost credit, then that's saying that, hey, the buyer needs this closing cost credit in order to make the loan work. Because the lender could say, hey, buyer, you're qualified for X amount of dollars, but you need so much down payment and money towards your closing costs, and you can do it from 2 different ways. You can get a gift from somebody. You can get for like a first-time home buyer grant, you can get some seller concessions. So if you put those together, then you have enough money, but on your own, you don't have enough. So that's letting the seller know that they have enough money or not. 9, this pre-qualification is with or without an automated underwriting approval. And so with that, this is, you always want to see with. So if on my home sales, if I get a pre-approval that does not have this, because some of the pre-approvals aren't worded clearly, and so before we'll accept an offer, we ask about this, because this is like a deal breaker for me. If the buyer has not gone through the automated underwriting approval, so that means that the lender takes the buyer's information, puts it in their computer, and the computer does all its magic and its algorithm, and then it spits out approved or not. And so that's pretty important. So, because otherwise what could happen is that the pre-qualification could be really almost worthless. Like the lender could just say, hey, buyer calls up and the lender's like, hey, what do you make? What's your FICO score, your credit score, yada, yada. Like, oh, okay, yeah, from what I'm hearing, we could pre-qualify you. But if they don't actually run that through their computer system to get a pre-approval or not, that's a horse of a different color. So if we don't have an automated underwriting approval, I'll say, hey, you need to get that, because you can get it from a lender really quickly. So if they're interested in it, if they don't have a pre-qualification through automated underwriting approval, they can get that really quickly, because it takes, the lenders I work with, you get that within like an hour or so. So it's really quick to get that. And so item 10, this pre-qualification is based on review of the buyers. So this is saying, what did the lender do in order to issue this pre-approval? So did the lender look at credit? Did the lender look at income? Did the lender look at asset assets. And so you want all those boxes to be yes, so that you know that the lender really did their underwriting here. These two here, I won't even read these. This is just kind of legalese that basically states that this is like the lender is not promising funding or anything like that, that this saying that this form is just supplemental information. All right, 19 here, mortgage company issuing the pre-qualification status. So this is just where the lender would put in their information, the lender's name, address, mortgage company phone, loan officer's name, officer's email, loan officer's signature. And if this is new to you, then the loan officer is just who the employee or independent contractor of the lending agency. So this would be maybe like guaranteed rate. And then this could be the loan officer's name could be Bob Smith. So Bob Smith works at guaranteed rate. And so now the question you might be burning with suspense to know is like, why would you use this? So the main reason you would use this is to show if you're a buyer and you have this filled out and you submit it with your offer, then this answers the questions that most sellers or sellers agents want to know. They want to know, hey, do you have money in the bank for your closing costs and your end of the deal in order to make this deal work? Has your credit score been looked at here? Has your income been looked at? Have your assets been verified? Because if that's yes, then that means the lender has like really taken a look at the buyer and is getting them through the actual lending process. Because lending is like a two-stage process kind of, because you get your pre-qualification, pre-approval, sometimes called, and then that's really quick to do. You can get that with like an hour usually. And then it goes through that loan. Once you get an accepted contract, send that to your lender, and then the lender will put your file in underwriting, and they start looking at all this stuff in detail. If you really want to have, if like it's a competitive market, you can ask your lender to say, you can say, hey, it's really competitive out there. Can you get me started in the underwriting process so that when I submit an offer, I can give them this form and it says that, hey, I've got the cash. You guys have already verified all this information. And then that's going to make your offer look a lot better than somebody else's offer that doesn't have this. Or maybe you're the listing agent, you're comparing two different offers. One has the box check that says that, hey, they are relying on down payment assistance. And the other one states that, no, they're not relying on down payment assistance. The one that's not relying on down payment assistance, that looks like a more solid deal, more likely to close because the buyer has the funds and isn't relying on the funds coming from something else, because the funds coming from something else just adds more and more variables into the process. And so that's how this form works. These forms aren't used a ton because what a good lender will do is they'll have this information on their pre-approval. But if you don't have that, or sometimes it's just nice to send this in supplementary to your pre-approval, because then it just spells it out real clearly. But on your pre-approval, like a good lender will list this information. But if they don't have it, like if you just have one that says it's pre-approved for X amount, that doesn't tell the seller side much information. So having this form filled out would be great. And then also, I've used this before where I've had a weak pre-approval where somebody like submits an offer and then they're like, I'm not getting information. Because when I get an offer, I always call the lender and ask them like, hey, just want to verify some information here. Is this your client? Is this really them? They didn't make their own pre-approval on some online website, did they? And then sometimes if I'm not getting solid answers, I'll just tell the buyer's agent to say, hey, have your lender fill out this form. If they fill it out, we'll know you're serious. If not, then we need to move on. And that will just save you some hassle, because if a buyer is really excited about a house and they won't give you detailed information as to how solid their pre-approval is, then you just want to cut that off at the pass and not go down the path of trying to work with them anyway. Because if they can't get you that information up front, the backside is probably not going to go to the closing table. So that's an overview of the Buyer Pre-Qualification Status Form. Hope you enjoyed. Hit that subscribe and like button.